Hello, bonjour, goeiedag, dumela, legai, salibonani, linjani, magadi, mulishani, mulibwanji, habari. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you're tuned in from, thank you so much for joining me once again. I am forever grateful that you make the time to be with me. This is Get to Know Them. These are Ego Wings facilitators. These are men and women that bless, change, impact, and continue to make us a better people. So thank you again for being with me. And it is always awesome to see all of you joining in. My name is Candy and I'm your host. So believe it or not, this is episode 7. If you haven't watched the other 6 episodes, please go on to the Ego Wings social media sites and just have a look and get to know who these facilitators are. Today, I am joined by an incredible, awesome man. This man, I call him a moving library. We are blessed to have him here with us today. This is a man who I call a guru. He has been in the aviation industry for years. The whole African continent, for those of you who are not on the African continent, knows this man. He can be dropped anywhere blindfolded and he will have a home and people will welcome him. We are so privileged in the industry of aviation, in the industry of airline, in the industry of travel, just travel, tourism and aviation, to have had this man, and he's still growing strong. So to everyone, the person I'm talking about is Aaron Munetsi. Allow me to introduce him and just dive into his life. Today we are here to get to know who he is, what makes him tick. So Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I am keeping exceptionally well, Candy. I'm actually blushing as much as I'm a dark-colored person. I'm blushing from that amazing, flowing explanation of an introduction. But thank you very much to you, Candy, and thank you very much to your audience for having me on this show. I call it a show because it's actually a show of who we are, how we do it, why we do it, and when we do it. And being an African is an honor. It's a badge of honor for me, Candy. To have a wonderful, lovely sister like you shadowing me everywhere I go, because it has always been that case where wherever I land and I turn around, who do I see? Candy somewhere. Turn around and look over the horizon, and what do I see? I see the dust rising from Candy's wonderful work. So I am so proud, I'm so privileged, I'm honored, I'm humbled to be with you. Thank you very much for welcoming me. I really appreciate it.
I think on that note, thank you very much, everybody. We can call it a wrap. I'm kidding. Thank you so much. Wow, now I am blushing. Woo, that was amazing. You see, in Africa, for those of you that may not be from here, but in Africa, when you have someone who's so much senior than you, and then they say all these amazing things, it is absolutely a blessing. So believe it or not, today I am blessed beyond measure. Aaron, thank you so much. I mean, every time I'm around you, I am always saying, oh my goodness, I really wish you and I could go back in time when we would live in a village where I could just sit at your feet and ask questions and just make sure that I take it all in. But anyway, today is not about me, it is about you. We would like to know who Aaron is. So who is Aaron?
Wow, what a wonderful question. It's wonderful, Candy, in that I think it's more of a statement than a question. Who is Aaron? It's a statement because we are saying, who is Aaron, right? But let me convert it into a question. Who is Aaron, right? So I think my explanation of who I am, or my definition, is three-dimensional. There is Aaron, the physical person. I have transformed, Candy. I can say thank you very much to COVID-19. I have transformed. Man, I tell you, when COVID hit, I was based in Nairobi. I was still working with the African Airlines Association. I was Director, Government, Legal and Industry Affairs. And from nowhere, we got to be told that you're now going to work from home. So the 2.5 hours commute that I used to have to and from work suddenly became me time. So the physical Aaron says, when we are not active, we get agitated. So let's hit the gym. I went to the gym in the complex I was staying, and the gym was closed. I said, okay, no problem. Being the person that I am, I never take no for an answer. So I look around and I see there's a field opposite my complex, and I'm like, as long as there's a field, men got feet and shoes, men can walk. I went there, Candy. At that time, I can tell you, I was weighing almost 112, 115 kilograms. That was in March 2020. By the time I was done with the lockdown in August, I was down to about 84 kilos. Man, I tell you, those 2.5 hours that I actually had to myself made an amazing impact on me. So I'm saying this story to you, Candy, because I want you to know who Aaron is, okay? So Aaron has always been the kind of person who doesn't say no to anybody. From a very early age, grew up in a very big family of 10. I used to tease my mom. Whenever I came back from school, I used to tease her. Don't you get tired from being greeted? Because whoever comes home, hello, mom, how are you, mom? Everybody, hello, mom, how are you, mom? I used to tease her. Don't you get tired of being greeted? So there was always a run around the compound. She with a broom trying to beat me, and me teasing her even more. You see, you can't catch me because you are tired from being greeted. So I come from quite a big family. And as life would have it, Candy, we are all very different people. So I had to quickly learn to adjust. I'm the third child, second son in a family of 10. So 6 brothers and 4 sisters. Hey, not easy, right? So I grew up knowing very well that I'm not alone. I'm not an island. There are those that were senior to me. If I needed a beating, I knew that's where the beating is going to come from. But also if I needed support, advice, and counseling, I knew that that's where to go to. So from a physical point of view, I grew up in a very warm, loving environment. And I think that's what I exude. When I am with people, when I'm amongst people, I just want to be with everybody. I want everybody to be comfortable. I want everybody to know that this world is created with everybody's presence in mind. We have to be grateful that the world is so big, it can accommodate every one of us. So from a physical point of view, that's where I stand. I stand in a space that says there's no space that is too much for everybody. There's space for everybody. From a spiritual point of view, Candy, I grew up in a Catholic church, in a Catholic home. My mom and dad were staunch Catholics. I, from grade 1 up to secondary school, up to tertiary, I've always gone to Catholic schools. So I think the name Aaron itself comes from, I also quizzed my dad, by the way. I'll tell you a bit about it later. So I quizzed my dad, how come you gave me this name? But it comes from, it's a biblical name, Aaron, the brother of Moses. So I got a very spiritual, can I say, awareness. I know that there's somebody up there, the bigger person that created everything, God the omnipresent. So I always carry my prayers with me wherever I go. And having lived in different continents, I happened to be in the Middle East, and suddenly I'm now thrust in a predominantly Islam community. Guess what I did? I started talking to my brothers and sisters who are Muslims, and I read the Quran back to France. And I even started to know some of the names in the Quran, and I converted my own name from Aaron to Harun. And once in a while, when my Muslim brothers are having functions in their homes, I would actually volunteer to say, can I say the dua, which is the prayer? So I am very versatile when it comes to my spirituality. I don't believe that there's one particular religion that is better than the other. All I know is that we are all human beings created by the same God, and we belong to the same God. He loves us, irrespective of who we are, where we come from. Spiritually, that's the element. Then the other element, which most people I think know, is the work element, which is the least favorite for me. Why is it least favorite? I think it's because it puts me in a box. A lot of people look at me and they think, oh, this is the guy from aviation. And I personally believe that I am the guy from the University of Life, the University of Hard Knocks. I am here because there's been so many experiences, having lived, worked with different people in different environments, different situations, and that has actually built me to who I am. So I am not an aviation person. I've got a lot of aviation experience, but I've got experience of life. So in a nutshell, which is a long nut, I think these are African ground nuts. This is who Aaron is.
Love it. Oh my goodness. I've also learned a couple of things about you that I didn't know. The part about you teasing your mom, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. But I'm gonna want to dive in a little about your exercising. Oh my goodness, congratulations. So maybe just for you to give us a little bit of an insight in there. When you started your exercise, was it intentionally to lose weight, or it was just something that you said you needed to do? And as you were doing it, how did you continue with the consistency, just to help people out there who've maybe been saying, I'll do it today. No, man, no, today comes, nah, I'll do it tomorrow. So how did you start? How did you keep at it? And was there a goal or a desired result when you started?
Excellent question, Kendi. To start with, like you said quite rightly, people think about it, but they never get to do it. And they say procrastination is a thief of time. So I just, all the years, Kendi, I think you have noticed it, whenever we met at conferences, I would be the first person up. I would always be looking for the gym. Where's the gym? Simply, not because I wanted to lose weight or I wanted to gain physique. It's because I wanted to be fit. It always irritated me. It still irritates me up to today when I see people being given an opportunity to make an impact and they don't have energy. Kendi, they don't have energy. People are almost sleeping on the job. I feel like going to them and saying, wake up, Ndara, what are you doing? You have been given an opportunity, even if it is just 2 minutes, it's an opportunity for you to make an impact. So I always, and one day I was in a gym in Victoria Falls. I think it was the Afra Annual General Assembly. I was the first one in the gym. And guess who walked in second? Gabriel Miriam Chewelde, the CEO of Ethiopian Airlines. We had a very good workout and everything, and we were walking back to our rooms. And I said to him, so you are not anywhere near being called fat. Why are you in the gym? He says, I just want to make sure that I maintain my energy levels. I knew I was on the right track because I always wanted to maintain my energy levels. And Kendi, I can tell you, I can do 14 hours on a flight. I arrive at the destination and I hit the ground running. That's what I want to do. And that's what so even when I started doing this on a religious basis, when I was in Nairobi, when the lockdown started, I was actually doing 5-8 kilometers every day running. Right now, as you and I are speaking, this Monday, I ran 35 kilometers here in Johannesburg. Yes. And this morning, I did 8 kilometers. So all it is about, Kendi, is just being able to say to yourself, this is what I want to do. Then what you want to do ends up when saying to you, this is what I want to be. I want to be a fit person. And for me to be fit, I want to run. Whenever I get time and I'm in a gym, okay, I'll do weights, but it's not because I want to buff up or anything. It's just because I know that there's some muscle that need to be trained and so forth. But I want to be fit. That's it, Kendi. I want to be fit. And for me to be fit, the easiest thing for me is to run. If I can get a pool, I'm sure you remember the other time when you and I were at a conference in Mauritius, and I said, Kendi, come, let's go and swim. And I was even teasing you to say, come on, you must be able to swim. So for me, whatever it is that I can do that makes me fit is what I do. But it is important, Kendi, to say, this is about fitness. You have to be fit mentally, spiritually, physically. You have to be fit. You can't achieve your objectives or your goals without being fit.
Wow. Now that is amazing. 35 kilometers. We will talk about this off this discussion of ours, but absolutely well done. Inspiring, absolutely inspiring. My next question to you is, what does Aaron like, or what does he love?
Aaron loves people. Aaron loves people. And I can tell you, so I told you earlier on that I always used to quiz my dad, why did he give me this name? And my dad said, so I realized that you are different from your elder brother and your elder sister. I said, well, how long did it take you to give me the name? He said, well, probably 2-3 weeks. I said, so? He says, well, yeah, it's because you were always making movements with your mouth. So I just thought the brother of Moses was the one who was speaking on behalf of Moses. This guy is probably going to end up speaking for his siblings. So I think it's probably a fulfillment of what my dad had seen. I don't know what he saw, but he just gave me that name. To answer the question, Candy, I love people. I love people to a fault. You can leave me anywhere on this planet, anywhere, and I will be able to strike a conversation with somebody just like that. I'm not judgmental, so as you come is how I accept you. I want you to be as comfortable as you are in your own skin, because as I am is how I come to you as well. So I don't have any pretenses of I am better or I can do this. No. What you see is who I am. That's it, end of story. So I think it's because of that love for people that leads to my second love. My second love is culture. I love culture. So I was amazed at your greeting. I think you greeted everybody in probably nine languages. I was actually counting, just for your own information. I was counting. So some people call me a polyglot of sorts because no matter where I am, Candy, I'm not shy. So I can be in France. I can be in Senegal. I can be in Abidjan. I can be in Dakar. I can be anywhere, Francophone countries, and I will speak that French. I'll break it. I'll break all the grammatical. I'll make all the grammatical errors that you can never make, but I will speak it because there's nothing that makes me feel more comfortable than being able to communicate to you in your own language. And when it comes to you sitting down to eat, I'll eat whatever it is that you're eating. So if I'm in Uganda, in Kampala, and they're eating senene, those grasshoppers, let's dig in. We go in. We have those grasshoppers like nobody's business. When we are in Accra and they are eating their abopang, I would say, give me the biggest snails, the biggest black snails. Give me those ones. When we are in Lilongwe, I say, give me that chambo and put the gambuzi and make me sweat. And we must eat under the tree on the roadside. When we are in Dubai or we are in Lebanon, I'll say, let's go to the za'atar. Let's eat that za'atar and give me the meze and the hummus. Let's eat that using our hands. So I love people, I love culture. But I also love another thing, Kendi. I love peace. I love peace of mind. I love to be able to accept that this is the reality. So I love being able to exchange with other people, to share with other people what peace means. So that's why I love sharing, and that's where I think the speaking came from, because maybe from father being inspired by God to say, call this boy Aaron, so he can speak on behalf of people. So I'm able to, to exchange ideas with other people, as long as it leads to peace. It could be peace in a very different way. It could be peace of mind, just accepting where you are. Even when you are in the deepest, most difficult part of your life, accept it, and you actually create peace. Even if it is just sleeping under the bridge and closing your eyes for 2 minutes, that's peace. Or if it is actually resolving a conflict with another human being, that's peace as well. So peace is all-encompassing. Across the width and breadth of our lives, there is peace. So I love people, I love culture, and I love peace.
Phenomenal. I'm going to dive in on peace, because I think it's something that I'm assuming, you correct me, of course, that it's something that you taught yourself. You were deliberate in doing that, and it's very hard, to be positive, to have your mind get to that level where yours has gotten. Because remember, people are different. I mean, Africa, 54 countries, including islands, and we are very diverse. We are different. And for you to be able to be thrown anywhere and just to make it your home and to learn and to have that, the amazing test buds that you have where you can swallow anything, that's already amazing. But for me, I'm wanting to find out from you, how did you get your mind, or how do you get your mind to be at peace? How do you get yourself to be so positive and to look at the good side of everything? You amaze me, because, you know, it can be a situation where, you know, all of us can be looking at it and thinking, yo, nah, this one, oh yeah, you are able to dive in and say, yes, this is a problem, but there is this goodness out of it. How do you do that? How have you managed to do that? And what can you tell us as a trick that we can all start to learn to do that?
Okay, so I think to answer your three questions, the first question is, was it deliberate? The answer is yes, it was deliberate. So I've always been that kind of a boy in a classroom who says to the guy who has gotten a hiding for getting his homework wrong or whatever, I'm always the one that goes to him and says, you know what, it could have been worse. And sometimes those people I'm telling it could have been worse actually turn around and say to me, I don't want to hear your nonsense. And I said, no, but hold on, it actually could have been worse. At least you were able to do something positive. You were able to do the homework. If you had not done it, you probably would have been thrown out of the classroom. You got a hiding because you did it. Now, here is the thing. Do you want us to work together? If you want us to work together, I didn't get everything right, but I got something right. So can I share with you what I got right? And that's how it just started. So even at home, my siblings would tell you, my mother was the stricter of the two. My dad would hardly ever raise his voice, but once he looked at you, you knew that something was wrong. And that's where the peace came from. Because then I would be able to relate to that look means something needs to happen. Either encouragement or you are being discouraged to do something. So again, I'll pick up those nuances to say, oh, okay, this is what this look means. And then my siblings would also pick it up from my, I think from my understanding, so especially the younger ones, because, you know, the younger ones tend to be all over the place. So the moment I slow down, I notice that they also slow down. The moment I pick up the tempo, they also pick up the tempo. So it was deliberate. It can be, as I grew older, I realized also that even in a work environment, if I get in and I'm flustered and I'm swearing and everything, everybody, even before I became a manager, everybody around me would also start mimicking what was going on. And I personally was also mimicking what other people were doing. So I would actually pinch myself and say, but why am I stressing? It's not even my issue, it's his issue or her issue. Maybe instead of stressing, let me go and calm him down, because I already had that perspective of being able to calm things down. Let me go and be able to calm him down. And Candy, one of my favorite tactics is to do nothing but to be there. So I'll come and stand next to you. I will not say a single word. I will not even look at you, but I'll make sure that you know I'm there. Just the presence gives you that perspective of, okay, so there's another human being who's breathing. When we get to know each other, I think I've shared this with you before. We were on a flight going somewhere, and I said to you, and I think we're running late, and you were like, oh, when we get there, I said, Candy, right now, the only thing that matters is this captain must get us up there and get us where we're going. No, what do we do? I said, okay, my sister, what we do now is we breathe. I think that was the first time I told you about being able to breathe yourself into calmness. So take a deep breath and slowly breathe out. Deep breath and slowly breathe. Just by doing that, you actually calm yourself down, because even the physiology of a human being can do. When you are breathing fast, your heartbeat actually rises. When your heartbeat rises, your stress hormones also rise. But when you are breathing slowly, your heartbeat slows down, and the calm hormones also kick in. So even the physiology of being able to breathe slowly calms you down. So when I get to know people, then I say to them, okay, why don't we do a breathing exercise? People laugh at me, say, breathing exercise? What is that? I say, well, yeah. When was the last time you actually counted your breath? So sometimes I even say, okay, I've got a stopwatch. Let's see, can you hold your breath for 5 minutes? So I say, breathe in, and people will breathe in. And after 2-3 seconds, okay, it's an exercise. So you get better as time goes on. When I left Nairobi, one of the most amazing experiences I had, Candy, was the lady who was at the gate of the complex where I was staying. I taught her how to breathe. It was in the morning, cars are going and coming, and she used to get very agitated. So on a weekend, Saturday afternoon, I walked to the gate and I said, ICC, habari gani, habari za saa hizi, speaking in Swahili. And that sort of calmed me down. She could tell from my accent that I am not a fluent Swahili speaker, but she could tell that I'm trying. I said, when these cars are coming and going, I noticed that it actually gets you agitated. She says, yeah, these people want their license, they don't have their license, what. I said, so I'm also in a very similar environment where I'm also always under pressure. But I want to share with you if you want. She says, yeah. I said, yeah. What I do is I breathe. She says, everybody breathes. I said, well, there's a different way of breathing. Try to breathe in and out. In and out. When I left, the day I left that complex, it's called Garden City, she came to knock on my door to say thank you. I heard that you're leaving. I didn't want you to leave before I told you that I want to thank you. I said, oh, my sister, don't worry. She says, no. I'm thanking you not only for what you did to me, but that lesson, I took it home and I told my husband, we are now breathing together with our children.
Wow. Now
so,
that.
Candy, life gives you an opportunity everywhere. So I love people. I just love to be able to say to somebody, here's something that you didn't know. Try it. Has it failed? Of course it has failed. Sometimes I've been told, you idiot, what are you trying to do? And it's okay. I actually go back and I say to myself, oh, that didn't work. I wonder what else could I do to make it work? I never beat myself and say, why did it not work? And no, I'll say, I acknowledge it. Why that did not work. What else can I do to make it work? Or what could I have done differently to make it work? And life carries on.
Oh, wow. Wow. I think I need 2 days with you nonstop. But anyway, moving along. My next question, Aaron, is you love people. So your name, now I understand, really, your name was the best name that you could have ever been given. You're a people person, you're at home in Africa, you live, breathe, walk Africa. So was it very easy for you to know that speaking was one of the things among many that you do? When did your penny drop that you standing there and impacting and teaching and giving was something that you were born to do?
So that's a very good and can I say influential question, Candy, because when did I learn the fact that I wanted to speak is when the penny dropped. I was in a situation where I always listened to my seniors at work, especially, and I would relate them to school. So I would say, at school, I liked subjects like, for example, the arts. So why was it that I liked that particular English literature teacher? Why? I would always ask myself. And as I grew up, I then realized that the teachers that I liked most were the ones that were able to express themselves even better. So I can tell you right now as we speak, Candy, I'm thinking of a mathematics teacher in A levels. So he was teaching us about the cosine, tangent, and sine. And he said it in such an eloquent way that up to now, almost 45 years down the road, I can still remember seeing him at the podium telling us that it's very easy for you to remember what a sine is. So I'm thinking, of course, it's taking time. He says, all you have to do is remember a mnemonic that says, some old horses can always hear their master's approach. So S is for sine, O is for opposite, H is for hypotenuse. I'm like, wow, look at this. So here is a teacher who is teaching us a very important concept in a very simple way. Some old horses can always hear their master's approach. So when it came to languages, we had a French teacher who also did the same thing. So the French teacher would always say, for him to be there, there must be a she. From a distance, you think, what the hell is he talking about? But when you actually come down, you realize actually that's what is important. That's why there is always this femininity or masculinity in French words. For him to be there, there must be a she. So you start thinking when you're speaking French, okay, is it a he? Is it a she? So as I grew much more intrigued by the question to say, what are the things that I remember and why do I remember those things? It became very clear to me that it was because of the delivery of those people. So I went then to the tertiary stage, and I remember one of my lecturers at varsity saying, you know, organizational behavior is about management. What do managers do? And everybody's like, managers manage. And his name was Sipo Shabalala. He says, no, yes, managers manage, but how do they manage? Then again, you know, you stop and you think, wow, okay. So Sipo said it very simply. Managers do 4 things. Managers plan, organize, lead, and control. Candy, this was 24 years ago. But I can vividly recall and even see Mr. Shabalala with his gray shirt and he never wanted to wear a tie. So, but the university, I think, also insisted he must wear a tie. So he always had only one tie. Doesn't matter what color shirt or what jacket he's wearing, always one tie. And then when it came to control, he would say, managers plan, organize, lead, and control. Even the tie that you wear is under control. I remember that it was delivery, the way he delivered it. So that's when it dropped me to say, actually, the things that most people remember is how they were delivered, how the speech was made. You can have a most well-written speech, but if you don't deliver it well, people will never actually understand or comprehend what you're saying, let alone remember it. That's when I started picking up books on my own to say, let me study a little bit more about delivery. What makes people remember things? What makes people more effective? So when I look at a speech by the late Steve Jobs, for example, I will remember nuggets, simple things that he said. For example, customers don't know what they want until you tell them. And when he says that, he says it with a certain way of highlighting certain things about that sentence. Customers, so your mind, customers don't know, then you think, oh, okay, customers don't know what they want. All right, so how do they know what they want? Until you tell them. Okay. So you see, there's that, can I say, it's almost like a scientific way of doing it, but it's a very simple scientific way of doing it. So that's how, for me, the penny dropped. And I realized also that because I like people, it's going to be even more effective for me to impart what I know to people, because I never want to stay with what I know. If I can empty everything that I know, I'll be satisfied. I'll be a very happy man. If everything that I know can be emptied onto other people, I'll be a very happy man. So the penny dropped, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. That's why even Candy, I enrolled for coaching lessons. I did coaching programs just to make sure that I'm able to also inculcate the concepts that in neuro-linguistic programming, for example, the language that you use, how you program yourself to be able to deliver and to interact and to influence other people.
Yep, I can see all of us just sitting by your feet, as we say here in Africa, where we just want to siphon from you, just to be a sponge and get as much as. It's always a pity that time just never stops. I really wish I could be granted one wish, that sometimes when you're speaking to amazing people, time just freezes and it's not ticking, so that we can ask and learn and learn and learn. But I've enjoyed every second of this chat. So in closing, unfortunately, we are still all trying to navigate COVID. A lot of people talk about pre-COVID, post-COVID. My own take of this and what I have seen happening around, I don't see COVID going anywhere. COVID is here to stay. It is just us as a human race learning how to deal with it, learning how to be safe, learning how to just stay abreast everything else. So with your expertise and everything that you have learned, what you have gone through from last year to today, what can you advise everybody tuned in, listening now, who are going to listen in later when we post this on our social sites? What can you advise them to do in just how to breathe? You've taught us how to breathe. I'm sure all of us are going to start learning how to do that. But just to navigate life, how can we be okay? What's your advice?
Very simple, Candy, very simple. Be aware that COVID is real. Do not deny science. COVID is real. I think by now, unfortunately and sadly, every one of us knows of somebody who has died because of this virus. It is real. Once you accept that it is real, do the right thing. So, social distancing, wear your mask, sanitize as much as you can. Avoid crowded places. Be responsible. Be your brother's keeper. The way you look after yourself is actually going to impact how the next person you meet is going to survive this. And the way you survive depends on how other people behave. So we are in this together. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. The good Lord said, I will always be with you. I will never leave you. So even in the midst of this pandemic, He is with us. Whatever it is that you call God, He is with us. Trust Him. Be still and know that He is there. He didn't do this to kill us. It's a lesson for us to change and to do things differently. I can't be safe if I'm not safe, and you can't be safe if I'm not safe. We both have to be safe from this disease, from this virus. So my advice to everybody is be still, be realistic, and do the right thing.
And that's a wrap. And that's how it's done. And that's how you just are in awe when you're speaking to the elderly. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Aaron, for giving us this opportunity to dive in and to get to know what makes you tick. All of us now know what makes you tick. Thank you so much for your time.
You are welcome, Candy, and thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much for this chat. I also wish that we had more time because I am learning as we are going along. I was learning quite a lot just from listening to the way you were asking me questions, and I'm sure the audience also had questions. So it's a win-win for all of us. Thank you very much, and God bless you with your work. Continue to do the excellent work that you are doing. We are very proud of you, Candy. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. So you've heard it. Oh my goodness, I am blessed today beyond measure. So we have gotten to know what makes Aaron tick. Aaron is a man that loves people, and trust me, this man loves people. It doesn't matter where he is, where you drop him on the continent. He's also taught us to be real, be authentic, be honest. Let's not be afraid, let's be responsible. And also he has taught us something that I guess we used to take for granted. The key word here, used to. We used to take it for granted. I think when we are panicked, when we are scared, when we are afraid, let's learn to inhale, exhale. Let's learn to breathe. And most importantly, the one thing for me that I have taken from this is let's be aware of our neighbor, our friend, our family. Let's be our brother's keepers. So this is what is so amazing about this series. We get to know that the people that impact, that teach, that give, the people that stand on those platforms, the people that are always telling us that, yes, we can, are as ordinary and as easy as you and I. So thank you for joining me for this episode 7. Join me again next week as I bring in somebody else who is just going to blow our minds. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let us learn to be brave. Let's not be afraid, and let's be our brother's keepers. So I'll see you next week at the same time. Thank you.